Hey, how's it going? Welcome along to this video. It's Tommy Gentleman here from Tide 55 Digital Marketing. All right, there are challenges in the world right now for entrepreneurs and business owners. We're not gonna sit here and cry about it. We're gonna think about what we can do. We're gonna think about solutions. But before we get into the tips that I'm gonna share with you today, I want you to know that I get it. I understand that as a business owner, right now, you could be up here and excited and enthused and looking forward to what the next few months has in store. But I also understand that it might be completely the opposite for you. And you might be sitting there thinking, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. The thing that I love is falling apart and it's not even my fault. What am I gonna do? It feels terrible and I've got all these decisions to make. And so I understand both, really I do. And I want you to know that by watching this video today, what you're gonna get is a series of tips that will help you as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, and as a human being to see through the fog over the next few days, weeks, and months, and hopefully be able to bolt on to what you're already doing to make things a little bit easier and clearer for you over the foreseeable future. So, without further ado, let's get into tip number one. There's so much going on at the moment that we cannot control. You know, as the person of influence in your company, the business owner, the decision maker, there are still certain things that you are quite literally unable to influence and control. So we need to be able to move them over to one side, and we need to focus, very important word, focus on what it is that you can control. And one way that you can help yourself to do that is think about all the things that are on your mind or that are, you know, playing games with you and you don't know which way to go. Write them all down and then instantly cross out anything that you're unable to control. What anyone else is thinking, what's going on with the virus, what's going on with the economy, what's going on with your industry. There are limitations that are impossible to move. And so we've got to cross them off, because any energy wasted on that would be energy wasted on nothing. It's like punching a wall. You know, the wall's going to win. So you've got to leave that. You've got to leave that alone and focus on what you can control. That way you can generate some momentum. You can build your internal self-efficacy, because you'll start feeling like you're making progress, that you're actually getting somewhere. And that way you can go to sleep at night and wake up knowing that you're one day and one step closer to bringing a positive situation for you, your company, and everyone involved. This is a really important point to consider, is that money will not just vanish off the planet. There is going to be a shift in where the money is. The money's going to move, and that's because everything's going at such an accelerated rate. So there are industries that were doing really well that are now not doing anything. And then there are industries that were very small that have now grown to a substantial size. The economy, it flows. Things will move, and they'll move from person to person, from company to company, from industry to industry, from country to country. And so the money is still going to be there. It's just going to be perhaps in a different place. And so to think that there is no money out there, and to tell yourself that, to wake up every day and think no one's got any money and everyone's saving and everyone's looking after the pennies, and you know, nobody wants to spend money on what it is that you provide as a service or product, is going to severely limit you. It's like going into a football match and thinking, we cannot win this game. We're not going to score any goals. We're going to lose. You probably will, because you're telling yourself that. And whatever we tell ourselves is normally what happens. And if it doesn't happen, then it certainly becomes harder, because we're leaning more that way than towards what we actually want to happen, which is, of course, to go and, you know, win the game. It's to go and receive that next payment. It's to go and find that next contract, make that next deal. And they are out there. It's about believing that it is possible. And if you're in a business, you're in an industry right now that is still very much able to trade, then lose those limiting thoughts. Get rid of them, because they will not help you. And if your friends and if your colleagues at work, even your partner, is complaining that nobody's got any money, just let it go over your head. Because there is money out there. It's just not perhaps where it was before. It moves, it flows. And you've got to be able to keep your eyes on the game and keep your finger on the pulse to figure out where you need to angle your energy in order to meet and match the flow of that economy within your industry. Very, very important. Okay, one interesting thing about marketing with everything that's going on right now is that a lot of companies having, had the second whack, and this is the second lockdown, the second time that they've had to consider whether they can afford to pay their bills, whether they're going to need to keep their staff on furlough or bring them in or what. The second time they've had to go through this, and then Christmas, and it's so many things going on that a lot of businesses are retreating. They're stepping back. And what that means is that they're not advertising. They're not advertising because A, they don't really feel secure in bringing in new business. They're not sure on what they would do with that because they're not confident in their position, whether it's on the floor, having enough staff in to actually facilitate new business, or whether it's just in the industry and they've lost confidence in what it is that they're doing. A lot of your competitors are going to pull their Facebook ads. They're going to stop running them. They're going to wind down their budget. And what that means for you is less competition in terms of how much it costs to get that message in front of your target market, your target audience. And so my advice today is, if you are in a position where you have stability, where you have clarity, where you understand your capacity, and you can see that there's a potential to grow, double down on the Facebook ads, because you're not only going to reach more people in a much quieter marketplace because everyone else is backing off and retreating and hiding, but you're actually going to receive and attain a much lower cost per conversion or cost per click or cost per video view than you would before. Because the way Facebook advertising works is it's like an auction, it's a bidding war. So if you've got 7 companies and they're all trying to bid on this one human being's attention, then that's going to cost more to get that attention, right? Take those players away so there's only 2 or 3 left, it's going to cost a lot less. And so that is really quite exciting if, of course, you're in that position where you can see the opportunity and you're thinking, now's the time, we're in a good position, let's accelerate forwards, let's go and do a bit of a land grab and go and attain and attract the next 6 months worth of business because it's right there. And if you're not sure how to do it, you've got to figure it out quickly, because it's a strange one to say out loud, but in any kind of crisis situation, there are always opportunities. And if you're genuinely doing a good thing, then you've got to go make those opportunities come your way. Because all around us, we're hearing problems of people losing jobs and people not having, the same level of security as they did before. Well, if you are a genuine, positive entrepreneur and business owner, then what do you think you're going to do with all the extra income that you get over the next 6 months? How many more people are you going to employ? And that's how you become part of the solution. So this isn't about being greedy. This isn't about seeing a gold rush. This is about understanding that if you're capable and you have the belief and the potential, that you've got to go and you've got to build and you've got to make that next 5, 10, 15 jobs in your local community. Because that's what business owners do. And so that's why right now you become part of the solution by having the confidence to double down on what it is you're doing and grow your business. You almost have a responsibility to do so if it's possible, because so many other businesses can't do that right now. So if you can, then you've got to do it. And if you need a bit of help with it, of course, we'd be willing to help. Send us a message. Okay, now something that's going to help right now is creating more content than you have been before. And there's just really one very, very easy way to explain why that's important. And that's simply because more people are going to be at home over the next few weeks and foreseeable future, even working from home, and especially being winter as well. It's different to the last lockdown. It's winter, it's cold, it's dark. More people are going to be at home, and in any given moment, as a human being in 2020 in the Western world, any given moment where your thumbs are not scrolling on a screen, they will find one to scroll on. We are on our phones more than ever, and it's only going up. Like it's not going to stop. We're engaging more with technology all of the time. In the near future, our toaster, our fridge, our kettle is going to speak to us. It's going to tell us the weather. It's going to tell us our favorite joke. It's going to play our favorite song. Our house and our environment, like it or not, technology is going to develop even more. And so if you're now at this moment in time making
to make sure that everyone understands
more about what it is that you do, you're going to get seen by more people, and those people, some of them are going to become your future customers, your future stakeholders, possibly even your future employees. You know, stranger things have happened. And I think the more content that you make now, the more chance you have in the early stages of 2021 to build on something. If you just stop and go to sleep on your content right now, then you're going to be on the back foot when the world wakes up in January. And look, I'm not a politician or a scientist, but even if we're in lockdowns or restrictions and the virus is still very much here, I'm telling you now, the January mindset is a tough cookie, and you will be there, and so will everyone else, wanting to make this year better than last year. It's just built into our DNA. Since we've been alive and able to think and able to categorize time and space, we've always woken up on January the 1st and gone, come on then, let's make this year a good year. No one's ever woken up and gone, I don't feel like having a good year this year. I think I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing. Everybody has their best intention in January, and it's gonna happen, virus or not. So make the content now, and you've got more chance of being ahead of that inertia when everyone else decides that now's the time to wake up and do the same. So content. It's about understanding the attention of your marketplace is right there for you, should you wish to put the effort in. Now, if you need some help, let us know, because actually, we can actually do it all for you, which is even better, isn't it? Because you don't have to think about it and you don't have to do anything. So let us know if that's something you'd like some help with. Look, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know everything, because I definitely don't. I'm figuring it out my side as much as you're figuring it out. But one thing that I do know is that when it comes to your professional and your personal mindset and your personal professional life right now, you have to be able to separate the two more than ever. I know what it's like as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, to take your work home with you and to be sat there, you know, in the evening and everyone in your family's chilling, but you're just on like hyperdrive and you're thinking about, you know, that spreadsheet, you're thinking about that contract, you're thinking about that piece of work that you haven't yet got around to doing, you're thinking about that problem that you just can't seem to chip away at. And it's going to become more unhealthy than it is normally to be doing that in this lockdown period and this winter lockdown. And the reason for that is because seasonally we're in more of a kind of depressive mode. It's dark, it's cold. Everyone else is struggling a little bit as well. So everyone else is sort of portraying that struggle to figure it all out. And you've got to do whatever you can to separate the two so that you can be there for your family. You've got to be, you're an important person, not just for the community and the economy, but also for your local, your real local, your household economy, your household environment. You know, you're an important part of that. And so what I like to do is think about when I come into work, there are a couple of things that I do. One is I visualize, you know, putting on my uniform. I'm going in with purpose. I'll listen to some music on the way in the car, or on the walk in if you're walking. And then I'll sort of reverse that on the way out. So I'm listening to music on the way home that's setting me up for getting into that mindset of being at home. And as soon as I get in the door, when I take my shoes off, that's my message to myself to say, you're at home now. You know, you're not at work. You're not in the war zone. You're not in that problem-solving mindset. You need to be dad. You need to be husband, you know? And it's the same for you, whether it's husband, wife, son, daughter, mum, dad, brother, sister. It doesn't matter. That's very, very, very important right now, because in every household, you've got a set of struggles and they all blend together in that living room. And if you're bringing that energy home with you, then no one's going to benefit from that. And that's really important to recognize. It's so much more than work-life balance, because it's more important than a cliche saying. It's just knowing when to turn it on and when to turn it off, and being disciplined about that. So right now as a business owner, that's really important. So, you know, you owe it to yourself and you owe it to your loved ones to be able to separate the two. And, you know, when it comes down to it, ask yourself, what's more important? You know the answer. So make it happen. Be there for them. It's very important. So I hope that you've enjoyed this video, and you know, my intention for this is that you can just take one of the points and that it becomes useful for you and relevant to where you're at. Again, I want to stress that so many of us business owners and entrepreneurs right now are in different orbits. Some of us, we're excited and we want to go and we want to push on, and you should. And everyone else is going to cheer you on, because you've got to do that for the future of the economy. You've got to employ new people next year. You know, we're cheering you on. We need you to succeed. And then there are the others that are struggling right now and figuring out what to do, maybe even having to cut back and change. And for you guys and girls, what I would say is trust your entrepreneurial ability more than the ship you're currently flying. We are able to go and fly different ships. That's why we're entrepreneurs. That's why we cannot get too attached. And we have to be able to understand that the market rules all. The market is the weather, the market is the wind, it's the atmosphere, it's the wind resistance as we're flying our plane. It's not our fault if we have to do a crash landing, it's not our fault, but as the pilot, you have to be able to make that call. You have to be able to understand when to let go and when to change. Because your future as an entrepreneur depends on what you do now. If you're not making the critical, important decisions now, then how are you going to be able to go and do the next, how are you going to be able to get into the next plane, to fly the next ship? Okay, it's really important that you understand that. Your ability as an entrepreneur will take you further than the ship that you're in now. And it's harsh, but these are harsh times, and I want you to know, I know there's more than you might think. I just need you to understand that we got to cheer each other on, whether we're here or here. This is a team effort, and whatever happens, we collectively are going to get through it, and we're going to cheer each other on, we're going to pick each other up, and we're going to do whatever it takes to keep this alive. You know, it's very, very important. So thank you for watching. I'd love it if you let me know what it was that you've taken from this video, what you think the most important or valuable tip has been for you, and I look forward to reading those comments should you engage in them. And yeah, just keep doing what you can do, you know, do your best, that's all you can ever do. And if there's anything that we at Tide 55 can help you with, then please reach out, contact us, and we'd love to know how we can help you. Thanks for watching.